And ladies and gentlemen, just plain viewers and nav geeks alike, welcome aboard the Silkway West Airlines Boeing 747-8 freighter. My name is Zaid Sultan Khan, and with me on the flight deck is Ilham Mammadov and Rufat Aliyev, and together we'll be flying you from Baku, Azerbaijan to Hong Kong. The flight time today is estimated to be around 7 hours 10 minutes, and our initial cruise level will be flight level 310, so 31,000 feet. And yeah, so it's a clear sky all the way, just a wee jet stream over China in the usual place, so we might have a little bit of turbulence over there, but otherwise beautiful clear evening in Baku, and beautiful clear morning arrival in Hong Kong. And for our Azeri viewers, I'd like to say a few words. Hanımlar ve canablar, bu Silkway West avia şirketten Boeing 747 8 tersinden kuvvetine hoş kalmışsınız. Benim adım Zaid Sultan Khan'dır ve hemkarımla birlikte İlham Mammadov ve Rufat Aliyev siz Baku, Azerbaycan'dan Hong Kong'a götürecek. Uçuş zamanı 8 saat ve yok
7 saat 10 dakika.
7 saat 10 dakikadan teşkil eder. Biz umid ederek ki siz Boeing 747 tersinden ve bizimle seyahatten zevk alacaksınız. Teşekkür ederim. So, Rufat, let's do the pre-flight checklist, please.
Oxygen.
Test 100%.
Test 100. Flight instruments.
Flight instruments are set for now.
Because.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Oh, it was there. It's just it's hidden.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, pre-flight checklist complete.
Thank you very much. So let's check the performance.
Yep.
So since I'm flying,
yep.
I'll read in. If you could cross-check, please. Victor Quebec, Bravo Bravo Mike, no MEL, no CDL. Airport is Baku. Runway 17, conditions dry. Wind 1704 knots, gives the lowest headwind. Temperature 10 degrees, QNH 1019, rating optimum, flap 20, 3 packs on, NTS off, and CG actual was 18, so 15 for the interval.
Yes.
And takeoff weight by ramp weight 422.0 tons.
Okay.
747-8 freighter, Gen X 2B67 engines, takeoff flap 20, engine out acceleration height 1500 feet, AGL. Full takeoff 94.9 with assumed temperature 37 degrees. V1 151, VR 163, V2 175, VF 30 176, and no emergency 10.
Same. Yep.
And if we look at the graphic, we have a little bit of margin there, no stopway on runway 17. Happy?
Yes.
Okay, in this case, let's request the clearance, please.
Baku delivery, Salam Alaikum, Silkway 571.
Walaikum assalam, Silkway 571, Baku delivery.
Parking position, Charlie 6, information hotel, request ATC clearance.
Silkway 571, clear to destination via flatland route runway in use 17 via Namaz 1 Charlie departure, initially climb altitude 4,000 feet, after bound contact approach 120.8, stroke 1316.
Clear to destination, runway 17, Namaz 1 Charlie, 4,000 feet, after rebound 120.8, squawk 1316, Silkway 571.
Silkway 571, clearance correct, when ready, contact ground 121.7, Yaxshi Allah Mandu.
When ready with ground 1217, Silkway 571.
So, Rufat, Namaz 1 Charlie,
yes.
runway 17, 4,000 feet initially, and 1316 on the squawk.
Yes.
So the weather is absolutely fine. I'm not going to say anything about the weather. Aircraft status is good. There's no DMI or operational DMIs to affect us for departure. Noise abatement, we are supposed to do NADP 1 by the charts.
Okay.
Which is 3,000 feet for acceleration, thrust reduction 1,500 feet.
Okay.
And no terms are all checked. Nothing to affect us. So taxi chart 10-9, we're on 10th September 2021, and stand is Charlie
6.
Charlie 6, okay. Yep. We're heading for runway 17, so we probably will push back face north, Bravo 1, Bravo, Alpha, and all the way full length, holding point runway 17 via Alpha. Okay, Namas 1 Charlie, 10-3 Echo, 13th of August 21. Baku departure 120.8 on standby. Transition altitude 9,000 feet.
Checked.
RNAV 1, and we have RNP ANP 1 is good. The routing, Namas 1 Charlie, Bravo 100 above 1,000 feet.
Checked.
Left turn to Bravo 102.
Checked.
Bravo 104 below 8,000.
Checked.
Bravo 106. Namas above 120. And MSA from Baku VOR 2,600 feet.
Okay, check, set.
It's not really terrain, it's more like the city off to the southwest. Initially 4,000 feet. Autopilot flight rig to use, LNAV, VNAV, maybe a little bit of manual flying.
Okay.
And for miscellaneous, I can't think of anything special, except we're going into Turkmenbashi, and they require, we have to call them before we enter into the airspace. Any questions for normal brief?
No question.
Okay, in abnormal brief, in the event I decide to reject takeoff for V1 of 151, I will call reject, take control of the plane, close the thrust levers, disconnect the auto throttle, ensure braking, raise the speed brake, and reverse thrust as applicable. If you see inboard or outboard, please call me. If you see the auto brake ICAS message, please call me. We'll bring the plane to a stop, apply the park brake, take a deep breath, decide what the problem was, and relevant action, and we'll carry that out, informing ATC. At V1, the call is continue, no action below 400 feet, only raise the gear with a positive climb. In this aircraft, by SOP 250 feet, autopilot's available with bank selector 15, with heading select bank 15, and we have no engine failure procedure, so it's just straight ahead. 400 feet, confirm the malfunction, do any memory items if we need, climb away. 1500 feet on the bar roll, we accelerate, and we have a lot of fuel to dump, so we'll probably go to flaps up. When the flaps are up, clear of terrain, I'll check continuous thrust, bank selector back to auto, no normal checklist, normal checklist. If we have to dump, not below than 6,000 feet, according to OMA. And Rufat, if we need a rapid return, since the SID goes off to the left, I'll probably take a left downwind and come back for the longest runway 16 to land.
Okay.
I'll fly the plane, you do the checklist with Ilham together, and but I won't delay the landing for the checklist if it's a very critical emergency, time critical. Just the only thing, if you can remember, is that we have an overweight landing checklist to do. But this flaps 25 basically.
Okay.
Zero fuel weight, 249.7.
249.7. Gross weight 421.8.
That is spot on. Reserve is checked. 310 initially, and cruise CG 18. Step size 0 is okay. Thrust limit, we agreed full takeoff, 37 degrees assumed. And we're looking for
95.1.
checked. That looks okay. Let's go to climb 2, please.
Climb 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we need more later, we'll take it.
Okay.
Takeoff page 2. Engine out acceleration 1500 feet. Normal acceleration, sorry. Engine out acceleration 1500 feet. Normal acceleration 3000. Thrust reduction 1500 feet. Page 1. Takeoff flap 20. CG 18. 9.3. V1 151. VR 163. And V2 175. 175, 175, LNAV, VNAV, engine out, 1500 feet. Ground flight deck. Confirm gear pins removed, cleanse pressurized hydraulic systems.
Gear pin is removed, clear to pressurized hydraulic systems.
Çok sağ ol. Before start, procedure please. see the extra green band as well.
Yeah.
Okay, before start checklist, please.
Signal sign.
Set.
AMCP.
Set.
Takeoff speeds.
Set.
Set beacon. Pulse. Trim. 9.3 units. 0 and 0.
Request 571, push and startup approved, runway 17 QNH 1019, face to south, short push.
Push and start approved, facing south, runway 17, short push, QNH 1019, Silkway 571.
Ground flight check.
Tamaja
Pushback start
0337.
approved. Facing south, short push please, runway 17.
Roger, facing south, release parking brakes please.
Park brake released.
Commence pushback.
So. Ground flight tech.
Yes, go ahead.
When you are ready, the start sequence 4, 3, 2 and 1, 2 by 2.
Roger. Zone is clear for startup lenses.
Okay, starting 4 and 3.
Roger, 4 and 3.
Before I start 4 and 3, please.
4 and 3.
So on the 747-8, pulling the start switch automatically starts the motoring schedule, and all I have to do here with auto start is place the fuel control switches to run, and that initiates the rest of the auto start sequence. And when we reach the green line here, then the engine will be self-sustained and starter will cut out, which just has now, and the engines will enter into the running mode enunciated above N2. Running. Ground flight deck.
Pushback is completed. Set parking brakes please.
Park brake set. Starting engines 2 and 1.
Roger, stand on.
Start 2 and 1, please.
2 and 1.
And on the 747, on both variants, as long as the outside air temperature is less than 35 degrees and the pressure altitude of the airport is below 5,000 feet, we can start 2 engines at a time. The APU is quite strong on the 747. It supplies enough bleed air for the air starters to turn both engines at the same time. So we're looking for 2, 4, 6 and 6. Stable before taxi procedure, please. Ground flight deck.
Go ahead.
4 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Hand signals on the right side, please.
Roger, it's disconnecting. I will move to your right for all final clear, sir. Wish you flight. Bye bye.
Sağ ol kardeş, görüşürüz.
Sağ salama.
Sağ ol. Well, flight control check. Elevators, forward. Aft. Aileron left.
Okay, signal received.
Thank you. Neutral. Right. Neutral. Follow me through on the rudder, please. Full left. Center. Full right. Center, before taxi checklist, please.
APU off, anti-ice is auto, recall checked, ground equipment.
Clear?
Clear right, flight controls.
Checked.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Thank you very much. Let's request taxi, please.
Silkway 571, request taxi.
Silkway 571, taxi to contour runway 17 via Hotel Alpha.
Taxi to hold the point, runway 17 via Hotel Alpha, Silkway 571.
As briefed, accept via hotel.
Yes.
Taxi, turn off lights on, flaps 20, please.
Flaps moving 20.
Clear left.
Clear right. Clear right side.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Clear left. Okay, Rufat, we have more than 3 minutes now for engine.
Yes.
Warm up and before takeoff checklist, please.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Checklist complete. So today we're quite heavy, 421 tons takeoff weight, just over. And the maximum takeoff weight of the 747-8 is 447 tons. And because we're going quite far, all the way to Hong Kong, it's a long haul flight, we have quite a bit of fuel in the center tank. And it's quite noticeable because the center of gravity is quite far forward. And I can feel it's a little bit more difficult to taxi on the nose wheel because there's a lot of weight up there up front. Which is pressing on the nose wheel, and very often you have this feeling what we're feeling now with the vibrations. Feel every single
Через 20 минут борт будет на 17 плюс Альфа 9.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Альфа 9 принято.
Approaching holding point, runway 17, Silkway 571.
Silkway 571, change to tower 119 at the smooth. Have a nice flight, bye.
119, decimal 2, Silkway 571. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Baku Tower, Assalamu alaikum, Silkway 571, taxi Alpha, ready for departure.
Silkway 571, good evening, Baku Tower, runway 17, line up and clear takeoff, wind 180 degrees, 1 for knots, departure frequency 120.8, gaseous, Halili.
Clear takeoff, runway 17, after 120.8, Silkway 571, sound.
Everybody's so nice to us today. Okay, runway 17 identified via Alpha.
Yes.
Approach side is clear. Line up items, please.
Clear right side.
I'll take weather.
Till in my side.
Supernumerary inshallah. Cabin.
Gentlemen, take your seats, departure in 1 minute.
Happy?
Yes.
Let's try and make it rolling, huh? Checked. G'day. Set and take off thrust.
Check. Thrust set.
Checked. V1.
Rotate. Point your friend.
Gear up, please.
Gear up. Baku departure, Assalamu alaikum, Southwest 571, passing 700 feet, climbing 4,000, Namas on shore.
Assalamu alaikum, Silkway 571, Baku departure, climb unrestricted, 57130.
Unrestricted, climbing flight level 130, Southwest 571.
Set level 130.
130 set, cancel restrictions.
Chelsea. Set and take off thrust.
Check. Thrust set.
Checked. V1.
Rotate. Point your friend.
Gear up, please.
Gear up. Baku departure, Assalamu alaikum, Southwest 571, passing 700 feet, climbing 4,000, Namas on shore.
Set and take off thrust.
Check. Thrust set.
Checked. V1.
Rotate. Point your friend.
Gear up, please.
Gear up. Baku departure, Assalamu alaikum, Southwest 571, passing 700 feet, climbing 4,000, Namas on shore.
Approach Turkish 7 Uniform Sierra, descend flight level 110.
İyi akşamlar, Turkish 7 Uniform Sierra, Baku approach, descend altitude 8000 feet, QNH 1019er.
Descend 8000 feet, QNH 1019er, Turkish 7 Uniform Sierra, merhaba.
Merhaba. Silkway 571, direct to Dukan.
Direct to Council, Southwest 571, sir.
Set direct. Dukan, please. Execute.
Thanks. Flaps moving 10.
Flaps 5.
Flaps moving 5.
Flaps 1.
Flaps moving 1.
And flaps up.
Flaps moving up.
Takeoff checklist, please.
After takeoff, checklist complete.
Sour. Aircraft's nicely trimmed. Engage the left.
7 uniform Sierra, descend
Sorry, left.
2000.
Left autopilot.
Yeah. Left pilot in command.
Come on, check.
Speed is okay, 356.
It might be a bit too much, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think? 345? 84?
324.
324 is too slow.
Okay.
Let's go 345, 84. It's small for the 400, it's 324.
.133.1, Silkway 571 now. Transition.
Altimeter descent standard.
Turkish 7 uniform Sierra, clear direct approach, runway 17, call back.
Baku control 7 Baku, Silkway 571, climbing flight level 130 to Dukan.
Mission Silkway 571, Baku radar contact, continue climb 310.
Continue climb, flight level 310, Silkway 571. 310.
310, sir.
Checked. 10,000.
Checked. So now we've gone through 10,000 feet and we're transitioning from the terminal area speed to our climb speed of 345 knots. And you can see actually the 747-8 with these General Electric engines is a very powerful airplane. Even at almost max takeoff weight we were having, and the lowest D rate of climb thrust, we had 2,000 feet, just over 2,000 feet per minute rate of climb, which is pretty good, huh? So Dukan here is the point where we enter into Turkmenistan airspace.
Yes. Okay, I will communicate with...
Roger. Right, see.
Yes, yeah, see. Turkmenbaşı, good evening. Alpha Zulu 571.
So for a smooth level off for passenger comfort.
Yeah.
All the fish we are carrying, the salmon downstairs will be happy. VNAV.
Checked.
So top of climb, minute 46.
46, yes.
And roof flat, just a quick brief here for the cruise. In case we lose an engine and we need to drift down for this direction, we're looking at 270, 27,000 feet, and the engine out speed is 310. So we've got quite a bit of altitude to drift down to. Okay. Since we're on the airway, this part of the world, we're supposed to vacate the airway to the right, establish a parallel offset, and then start the drift down. And otherwise, we have a good range of TCAS traffic below. If we can establish communication with ATC, and if they are happy, we can stay on the airway, we can do the drift down on the airway. Apart from that, for terrain, we're hitting, as you know, entering into China, very high terrain, and we'll rebrief for that when we enter to Yankee 1.
Okay.
Yes, airway. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've just reached cruising altitude. We're about 40 minutes into the flight, and just to give you a wee overview on our progress, we were on our standard cargo aprons here in Baku and Stan Charlie 6. We pushed back to face south. We thought we would get to go via the north way, but they asked us to face south, so we taxied Hotel Alpha, the parallel taxiway, all the way to the holding point, runway 17, and that led us to our SID, which was basically climb straight ahead, and with Baku city off to our right, and a left turn towards the border with Turkmenistan. That's our entire route. In fact, it's probably better if I show you in this orientation. So here's Baku in the middle of it all, and after departure we turned to the left towards Turkmenistan, entered Turkmenistan airspace. We flew over Turkmenbashi, and at the moment we're position Bedev, so we'll shortly be switching over to Turkmenbashi East ATC control, and we enter into Tajikistan and continue off to the east, enter Bishkek airspace, which is Kyrgyzstan, and enter China at position Kamut on the border there. And basically the majority of this route actually falls inside of China, and it only really takes us like 2.5–3 hours to get from Baku to the Chinese border, and the rest of the 4–5 hours is over China. China is a huge sector here, you can see. As we hurtle along eastbound, we'll have Urumqi to our left, and we enter this very special airspace here. Very special because it's a valley basically, and HC have
Southwest
established
571 approaching Balat, contact Tashov's control 133.8.
133.8, Southwest 571.
Okay.
Tashov's control, good evening, Southwest 571, maintaining level 310, position Balat.
Silkway 571, this is control. You identified, maintain flight level 310.
Maintaining flight level 310, Silkway 571.
Check. So, yeah, because this airway is established in a valley with very, very high terrain off to the north and south. There's 21,000 feet to the north, 21,000 feet to the south. It can be critical for mainly for two engine airplanes. But with 4 engine airplanes, basically the requirement is to for us to get down to 10,000 feet inside of the valley for oxygen system. But then again, with a freighter aeroplane with no passengers on board, we have plenty of oxygen, and it's not a huge factor for us in a 4-engine freighter. But there we go. Airlines need special permission to fly on this route because you need some extra equipment like CPDLC and SATCOM capability. But after we pass through this special airspace, we turn south, pass Chengdu, and kick off to the left and head towards Hong Kong. Sort of starting our descent, they tend to descend this a bit early, and passing Guangzhou off to our left. Should be really nice daylight, sunrise, so we'll get nice views, I'm sure. And we enter into Hong Kong airspace at waypoint Sierra, and by that point we'll probably be about 19-20,000 feet. Normally they descend us down to for that point. Passing Macau off to our left and starting the SID for Sierra, and we reckon that we will be landing on runway 07 with the prevailing winds. And so our standard terminal arrival will take us to position Limes, and then from Limes we'll either be vectored or we will fly the transition to runway 07 center. And you can see here actually the whole idea of the star into Hong Kong is basically delaying you for the descent, because Hong Kong, China, let's say mainland Chinese airspace, hands you over to Hong Kong at about 20,000 feet, and then it's up to them to keep us descending down on the correct glide path for Hong Kong. And if on arrival there's Hong Kong is busy with traffic coming from the southwest, then probably we will fly a little bit longer SID. And it used to be before Corona time that we were holding at position Kanto or Murray, and sort of stacking in the hold and starting our descent. But that's an overview of our route. Seven hours, 10 minutes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the questions I always get from friends and colleagues flying passenger airlines is, how do you eat on a freighter plane? And for many passengers, it's actually one of the highlights in a flight. You've already seen our cabin. We have the business class seats, but I think, in my opinion, we have the business class meals to match as well. I'll just give you a little overview of our kitchen here. So normally we get catered what we call a cold tray. And since this is a long haul sector of more than 5 hours, we cater for each crew member 2 meals. And out of Baku, we normally have a sort of Azerbaijani European cuisine here. So you can see some cold cut meats, chicken and beef. Sometimes we get beef tongue, which is quite exotic, and a salad, which is quite tasty. And my favorite bit, personally, is the nuts mix. We have some walnuts, some sultanas, and sometimes we have almonds. And since Azerbaijan is a good producer of good quality nuts, it's always tasty. Selection of cheese, there are the almonds, and a wee dessert here, Eclair. And then the second meal is similar concept, a selection of cold cut meats, a stuffed If I'm not mistaken, it's like a Turkish burek. And also my favorite, dried apricots, dried pineapple and dates. And this is particularly interesting for me personally because on long flights, dates is a huge supplier of a massive amount of energy. Kind of like a Greek salad without the cheese. And again, a selection of cheese. Not only that, if you have a big appetite, we also have a selection of hot meals. So all the crew members on board have a selection of 2 hot meals on this flight. This is beef with potatoes and this is dolma. Dolma is Azerbaijan's national cuisine, stuffed vine leaves, usually stuffed with beef. And to complete the whole experience for dolma, they even load some yogurt, which complements it very nicely. For our veggie pilots, it's a mixed veg. Doesn't look very good, but I can assure you it's quite tasty. Chicken breast with some potato. And this too is beef with potatoes. And what else do we have here? Again, chicken breast. Generally speaking, there's a selection of 2 or 3, say 3 meals, but times 2, that's veg as well, with some rice. And then let's see, this color is normally fish. Yep, that's fish, breaded fish. Sometimes you get salmon, sometimes you get shrimp and salmon, seafood mix. And the last one here, it's a chicken Kiev. And each of our pilots can specify their dietary requirements, and in the office they have everyone's meal request on file, and before each flight the request is sent off to our caterer in Baku or an outstation, and the respective meal is loaded for the pilot. And of course, since we're in Azerbaijan, tea is a very big tea drinking country, so we have bergamot tea. I thought it might be in English, sorry. Earl Grey bergamot tea. And I'm from the UK, where we drink tea with milk, but in the rest of the world they drink tea with lemon, so we've got lemon to match as well. How we prepare our meals: we take the hot meal, and this is our oven. Like a standard passenger airplane oven, except we have one and passenger planes have. On a passenger 747 that I used to fly, I think dozens. Lock it, make sure it's all secure, switch it on, and normally we have this standard medium steam program at 20 minutes. And here we go, 20 minutes, we'll have a tasty hot meal ready.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. To give you a bit of a progress update on our flight. We're just approaching to Chinese airspace, about 2 hours and 40 minutes into the flight. Since you were last here, we were at 31,000 feet, and now we've climbed up 33,000 feet. And just to give you a brief explanation on the concept of the step climb, if you can imagine that this is our profile. We have our initial altitude, then we step climb maybe 2-3 times on a long haul flight, and then we descend our destination. Unfortunately, due to airspace structure, we can only sort of fly at 2,000 feet intervals because we have opposite traffic. But basically, the optimum profile, what we're aiming for, is in the end something like that. Because as the airplane weight decreases, then the optimum altitude increases. It means we can climb higher. So we always aim to sort of to have our step climbs in between here. Operations Control Center calculates it on our flight plan. However, one of the good things on the Dash 8 is that the FMC is highly accurate. We have our aircraft connected up to data link for wind uplinks, and so we have for every single waypoint along the whole route, we have the wind and velocity and speed and the temperature for each level that we're going to fly over the whole route, for each waypoint along the whole route. And so therefore the CDU is highly accurate. So what we do is we compare when the CDU recommends us to climb, the FMC CDU, so the next step climb to 35,000 feet, it says that we should aim for at 1933 Zulu, and that's in about 320 miles. And when we check with our flight plan, computer flight plan that's calculated by OCC, it's actually it's very close. So it's a way of us to validate the flight plan that we have as well. Of course, the data on board is much more accurate because what the Boeing FMCs do is they take the plane senses and looks ahead and takes the actual wind speed and temperature and velocity, and it mixes it with the data that's input into the FMC, which is a tough job for the FOs on the 400, 747-400, because they're not hooked up to this advanced technology, and so they have to put it all in manually. Rufat enjoys it very much, I know. In the meantime, you may have noticed we're not flying 33,000 feet. We're actually at 33,100 feet, and there's a reason for that. So up until very recently, there was a huge portion of the world that used the metric system for altitudes, and Russia being one of them. During the Soviet Union times, so basically all of the Soviet Union territory, Mongolia and China used the metric system. But now with harmonization of airspaces around the world, even Russia have changed to feet for altitude. But except for Mongolia and China, I believe, are the last two bastions of the metric system. So before we enter into Chinese airspace at position Kamut, as you can see from our moving map, as we enter Chinese airspace, we're instructed to transition to the metric system, and although we cannot really fly the metric system on Boeing airplanes, we can get as close to it as possible. Using this button here, we switch to meters. So now we're in feet, and if I click on meters, we get this extra display up here on top of our altitude readout. We get meters, and this is the pre-select which comes up from the MCP. And so 33,000 feet basically corresponds to 10,100 meters, and how it works is 10,100 meters is we can't fly it to 10 feet, so the closest thing is 33,100 feet. And as we go on, when we need to step climb to 35,000 feet, we will take our little memo here that we have, that the company has placed on board. And actually, yeah, so it's China, Mongolia, reduced vertical separation minima, meters versus feet. So eastbound will be on this side. So you can see here 331, 33,100 feet corresponds to 10,100 meters, and when we step up to 35,100 feet, it will correspond to 10,700 meters. So in China, we will actually be requesting to climb 10,700 meters as opposed to 35,000 feet. And while it's not a problem per se for us, it just increases the complexity of operations. A good example is the territory we're over now is Kyrgyzstan, and Kyrgyzstan had changed to feet, but in the terminal areas approaching the airports, they still stay on meters, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when we, if we were flying to Bishkek, which is one of our destinations, we start our descent, and the initial portions we're descending in feet, and then as we arrive in the terminal area, they will tell us descend 1,500 meters or 900 meters, and it increases the stress level a little bit because we're not used to it all the time, but it's not a problem per se. The other thing that China do.
Silkway 571, contact Urumqi control 119 decimal 375, good flight.
119 375, Silkway 571, good day, see you. Urumqi, Nihao, Silkway 571, maintaining 10,100 meters, squawk 1316, position Kamut. Urumqi, Nihao, Silkway 571.
Probably slightly out of range.
Urumqi, Silkwest 571.
Silkwest 571, Urumqi, report level.
Maintaining 10,100 meters, squawk 1316, Silkwest 571.
Silkwest 571, ADS-B contact, report estimate time over megawatt.
Estimate megawatt at 2007, Silkwest 571.
Correct.
Okay, you probably noticed when Rufat was checking into air traffic control, he was reporting his altitude in meters as opposed to feet, because that's what they use now. So, but the other thing that China do is, if you imagine we have a routing like this with two waypoints. This is the airway, and what China do is they always ask aeroplanes to fly an offset, a lateral offset, always to the right, can never be to the left side unless they require it. But basically what they are trying to do is increase separation between airplanes in case of some drift or some failure of equipment. So if you imagine we are flying in this direction, and we fly a 3 miles right offset, as so, and then another airplane that's flying in the opposite way is flying 3 miles right as well. as so. So you can see easily, visually, that it instead of flying on the airway with only altitude separation, you have also a more lateral offset. So 3 miles for us to the airway and 3 miles for them to the airway. So it's 6 miles lateral offset between aircraft. And there's a few places in the world that do that. China is one of them, and Kyrgyzstan actually, Kyrgyz airspace. I'm not sure if they actually do it to transition you to China, but they always ask us to do it as well. And how we've done that, Bishkek control advised us that we should fly a right offset of 3 miles, and Rufat kindly went to the CDU to program it on route page. So that's the route we have here remaining, and over here in line select key 6 right, we have an option to add an offset. So R3 corresponds to right of track by 3 miles. I can show you here on the ND how it looks. It's basically a dotted line to the right of the airway. If I change this now to right of track by 5 miles, before I execute it, you can see that now it's not 3 but it's 5, and it applies it to the whole route going forward. And one of the nice things about the Dash 8 as opposed to the 400 is that it actually draws you the path to the offset. On the 400 you just sort of have a line, and lateral navigation of the autopilot will find its way over there. So, welcome to China. Welcome back, dear Just Plane viewers. We've had our rest, and we're making good progress here. We're 6 hours, 18 minutes into the flight, and for arrival into Hong Kong. According to the latest weather conditions, we are expecting to arrive on runway 07 center in Hong Kong. So in this case, Rufat, descent procedure please, Sierra 7 Alpha arrival, okay. ILS runway 07 center, auto brakes 3, VRF for flaps 30 please. And basically this is the moment that Rufat goes through the arrival and verifies all the information set in the FMC is correct. So climbs there. Okay, transition. Should be here. That's good. Okay, execute. Brake 3 and VRF. I've calculated landing weight for about 4.7, just under max landing weight. Okay, same, yep. Okay, all down, complete. Minima and RNP and NP checked. So, just have a quick look through the performance. Bravo Mike, Hong Kong, although it's 07 center, on the database it's still 07 left. Okay. Because of the new runway. Conditions dry, wind 0606, 17 degrees, QNH 1022, and the decision height, minimum climb gradient for the go around 6.6%. Go around rating flap 30, 3 packs on, 90 eyes off, all the auto brakes, non-normal checklist none, and a manual landing 344.7. And we see, I think auto brake 3 is going to be good enough. 2,448.
Okay.
3448 with auto brakes 3. Should put us nicely up, set us nicely up for Alpha 8 in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Okay, briefing. The weather's absolutely fine. It's 17 degrees, quite warm. And the QNH 1022 runway 07 right is non-operational. I suppose that means it's closed, although it wasn't no time.
No.
No bother, we've got 07 center, and RNP AR approach is available on request. We're not approved for a authorization required RNP approaches, so it will be an ILS for us. Aircraft status, recall.
Ground 124.45, Silkway 571, good in. Ground Nihal, Silkway 571, maintaining 10,100 meters, squawk 1316.
Silkway 571, good control radar contact, descend to 8,900 meters.
Send to flight level 8,900 meters, Silkway 571.
8,900 meters, 291?
Yes, 291.
Confirms. 291?
Let's check.
Button sticker.
东方拐拐96联系广州105.35，再见。
10535东方拐拐96，再见。广州东航征求6231，高度上9800。
征求6231，广州北大探的。
征求6231。
Noise abatement, basically we fly as usual a constant descent approach all the way to touchdown, and reverse they don't mind, so I will use it because it's a little bit warm and we're quite heavy for the next flight for the brake temperatures. And no times I checked, there's a few taxiways closed, but I'll brief them as we go along. Terminal charts, we go over to the star 10-2 November, 26 November 21. Sierra 7 Alpha, we're aiming for transition level, should be flight level 110.
110.
Yeah.
Set.
Checked, RMP1 is checked, is fine. 250 knots below 10,000 unless otherwise instructed, that's basically what we do anyway. MSA from airport reference point is 4,300 feet worst case. Yes. Okay, routing Sierra. 280 knots, and from my experience I put 190 below.
Okay.
Kanto above 130, Murray between flight level 130 and 110,
check.
Silva and then Limes. That leads us off to the approach chart ILS from 07 center. 11-1, 26 November 21. MSA is the same. The routing goes from Limes between 6,000 and 3,000 feet.
Check.
Tonic at 180 knots,
check.
2,000 feet above. Victor Hotel 710, 180 knots, 1,700 feet.
Check.
Victor Hotel 711, and then basically that's on the ILS. India Zulu Sierra Charlie is the ILS identifier.
Okay.
111.1, final approach course 074. Still parked, huh?
Yeah.
And we checked the glide slope at Victor Hotel 711, 1,600 feet.
1 has to go.
Checked. Let's monitor the level up and
起1两点世纪。
So 8,900 meters back to VNAV.
Check.
And I'll just speed up a bit here. Decimal 83 is okay. Tak, going back to our briefing, the minima for category 1 ILS with the missed approach climb gradient of 6.6% is 222 set left.
Check set.
And what else do we have? RNP1 required, that's what we have. Circling is prohibited, we're not doing that. Speed control, we've already discussed by the chart. Between 4 miles between 160 and 150, so our ref is 160, so we will be 165.
Yep.
So we'll just inform them if we need. So 1600 feet is the platform. We started descent from Victor Hotel 711, 3-degree glide slope.
Checked.
PAPI's on the left side, and minimum RVI, no issue today. On the ground with 10-9 shot, 26 November 21. We've calculated we could probably make Alpha 8 comfortably. And we need to go over to the south side of the airport for cargo. It's going to be a long taxi in. According to the NOTAMs, these two taxiways, these sections are closed,
okay,
but they're not affecting us at all. So we'll vacate Alpha 8 and come back on ourselves via Alpha most likely, and Whiskey or Victor to go over to the other side of the airport, change over to the South Tower ground frequency, and basically two ways, as you know. Either we could go left via Kilo 7 or right via Juliet 6 to cross.
Yes.
Runway 07 right. 07 right is not, it's closed basically. Once we've crossed, we'll join Kilo again. Could be Lima 1, Lima 2 or Lima 3 if we're coming from this side. And one of our cargo stands here, we'll just take it as it comes. It's a long taxiway and taxi in. Rufat, if you don't like something, or I don't like something, just call go around. We've got plenty of fuel, especially today. I'll advance the thrust levers, press the toggle switch, which is called go around flaps 20, positive rate gear up. In the dash 8, LNAV comes very quickly, automatically in fact, and the routing is climb to 5,000 feet. At the threshold of 520 feet, whichever is later, turn left to DD.
Check.
At 2,500 or above, proceed to Victor Hotel 753, 754,
Check.
Sampu at 5,000, Tango Delta, Guava, Soko, and Limes.
Check.
Max 200 knots until DD, and 230 until Limes.
Check.
And, oh God, here comes the sun. So you can see the reason for the 6.6% climb gradient is because of the terrain.
Yes.
Arrival fuel is 94 tons, so we could go anywhere. We could go back to Baku.
Yeah.
But our nominated alternate is Shenzhen, which is fine with the weather also. Autopilot flight track to use, LNAV, VNAV as much as possible. Approach mode for the ILS. Let's go to bright. Manual landing and miscellaneous. There's a few items for miscellaneous. I noticed here in the reference pages, they note for terminal transition routes, RNAV and contingency stars, a minimum descent rate of 500 feet per minute is assumed if unable information. So
Okay.
and also, as you know, according to the airway procedures, we have to contact Hong Kong 5 minutes before Sierra.
Yep.
On frequency 127550.
Yes.
And by company information, we know that although the new runway has been built to the north of the airport, 07 center is sort of in between. The original 07 left. It's probably better if I show you like this. The new runway is here basically with the reclaimed land. So it's already built and they've started changing the names over. So it's called 07 center, but sometimes there can be a discrepancy with the GPWS.
Yep.
So if we get conflicting information, we'll just reconfirm that and continue. It's a known, let's say. So that's it for the miscellaneous, and I can't think of anything else. Oh, if we approach Sierra, get rid of this access data here. If we approach Sierra and when we switch over to Hong Kong, they start to vector us inside, I'll immediately go to flight level change and increase rate of descent, because basically we're going to be high if they shortcut us. If they start to turn us off to the right on the 7 Charlie Sierra arrival, then there's no rush because it's basically delaying.
One, 2, 5, decimal 35, Silkway 571, good day. Conjure only house, Silkway 571, maintaining 8,900 meters.
Denmark, Daniel C58905, cancel offset red to Overgot.
That's an Overgot, C595.
Confirm Silkwest 571, calling.
Affirm Silkway 571, maintaining 8,900 meters.
Silkwest 571, Guangzhou radar contact.
571, Roger.
Great, any questions?
No.
RB descent checklist, please.
Recall, checked. Notes.
No notes, checked.
Auto brake.
After brake 3.
Landing data, VREF minimum.
Landing data VREF flaps 30, 159, bar minimums 222 for 6.6%.
German cargo 521.
VREF 159 minimum. German cargo 521. Approach briefing.
Briefing is complete if you're happy.
Descent check is complete.
Sure, so.
The new, no.
Qatari 8988, contact Guangzhou 128.35, good day. 128.35, good day, Qatari 8988. Daniel C58905, contact Zhuhai 1.
So on the 747 dash, one of the enhancements we have is the vertical situation display. Some people don't like to use it because it takes up quite a lot of the screen, but I like to use it a lot, especially on a non-precision approach like a VOR approach or something like that. But there's a good demonstration of it here. That's basically our current position looking at the airplane from the side, and this is our current trend vector here with on this range with the 40 miles trend in front of the plane. Here is the waypoint Sierra, and because we've set to be below flight level 190 over Sierra, the aeroplane has calculated the descent path based on us being below flight level 190 by Sierra. So it's quite a useful tool to see instantaneously if you're going to meet any restrictions with altitude or speed. When we have a speed requirement as well, you'll see a green dot, and basically the green dot moves up and down depending on the conditions to tell you when the airplane will reach the commanded speed. For example, if I open up the window now and I decrease to 270 knots,
1,000 to go.
Checked. We see the green dot comes in, so it's telling us now we will reach 270 knots off scale of this. If I increase it, it will probably be a better demonstration here. It will not be a good time to see that one here because it's off the scale of the PSD. But the green dot shows and it moves up and down to show where you would reach the command speed requested. If possible, request further descent, please.
Scenic flight level 190, reach within 3 minutes, request 571.
190?
Checked.
So that's what, 5,000 feet to go, to descend, and 3 minutes, so at least, what, 1,700 feet per minute?
Aerial drive is Hong Kong.
Okay, might see.
Okay, yes. Hong Kong, good morning, Silkway 571. Now passing flight level 240, descending 190, squawk 1316.
Silkway 571 Hong Kong radar, identified clear 07 Alpha, right on.
07 Alpha, Silkway 571. Okay, my HC back.
Your HC?
7 Alpha is briefed.
7 Alpha, fantastic. Yeah. So you might have noticed now Guangzhou cleared us down to flight level 190, which is what I expected. And you might have noticed that's not meters, that's feet. So we're being transitioned back to feet for Hong Kong because Hong Kong uses feet instead of the metric system.
Yes, we are clear to 190.
190.
Yeah.
So I cancel the meters here. And another good thing with the vertical situation display is when you're in VS mode, you can see I've selected minus 1,700 feet per minute. And it will show me if I, for example, if I go down to 2,000 feet per minute, the dotted line moves down to show that's where I will be with this rate of descent selected. Very good.
Right, I've got Cathay 09 S3 policy flight level 302 descending 260. Cathay 0903 Hong Kong radar, descend to flight level 130. Flight level 130, Cathay 0903.
So our next restriction is Canto, yeah?
Silkway 571, contact approach 119 at decimal 1.
Approach 119, decimal 1, Silkway 571, good day. Hong Kong approach, good morning, Silkway 571, descending flight level 110, information Bravo.
Silkway 571, information Bravo, runway 07 center, descent unrestricted, altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1022.
07 center, descending 6,000 feet, and QNH 1022, Silkway 571.
6,000?
Heavy Chicago 650, confirm your cross Pico, flight level 4,800 meters above.
So basically limes.
Heavy Chicago 650,
and set altimeter 1022.
125 decimal 35, Airways Cargo 650.
Approach, checklist please.
Altimeters?
1022, 1022, set and cross check.
1022, set.
I'm gonna have to help it.
Yep.
Approach. Good afternoon, Robustar 4704 for descent 110 and permission Alpha 007 Alpha.
Robustar 4704, information now Bravo. Let's approach runway 07 center. Descent unrestricted, altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1022.
Descent 6,000 feet, Ruby Star for 704, runway use.
Ruby Star 4704, runway in use, runway 07 center, QNH 1022.
QNH 1022, expect runway 07 center, thank you very much.
Last call 358, contact tower, north 118, contact tower 118.
118, Master 358.
Sequence 571 descent to 3,000 feet from line side tonic. Clear island approach runway 07 center.
Setting 3,000 feet, Limes tonic, clear at ILS 07 center, Silkway 50.
Last call
3,000 feet set.
Checked.
Limes tonic.
Mascot 331.
07 center as briefed.
Yes, 10,000.
Checked. Flaps 1 please. Fly level change.
Flaps moving 1.
So here is a good example of a restriction with a lower altitude and a higher altitude that we have to be in between, and you can see here our trend is showing us that we're going to be sort of we're going to be meeting that with quite good margin. Flaps 5 please.
Flaps moving 5. ILS India Zulu Sierra Charlie identified.
India Zulu Sierra Charlie identified left. There's no convective weather, I'm going to train as well, it's more of a factor. Enough.
Checked.
So Macau just over here to our left.
Ruby Star 4704 descent to 3,000 feet.
And basically Hong Kong Airport is on reclaimed land in the bay here off the right. Around this, on the other side of this. These peaks here.
Expect 07 center, Ruby Star 4704.
Clear island approach runway 07 center.
Clear island approach 07 center, Ruby Star 4704.
Ruby Star is behind us, yeah?
Yes.
Flaps 10 please. Okay, back on VNAV path.
Checked, flaps moving 10.
Another enhancement of the 747-8 is that when you select flaps in VNAV, it automatically selects the corresponding speed for the flap setting, which is not available on the 747-400. So we could actually go down to 1700 now because we're cleared.
Yes.
Set.
Check.
And also you see on the dash 8, it gives you an idea of when it thinks you should select flaps as well. And flaps 20 non-standard please.
Flaps moving 20.
G'day 093, affirm maintain speed 25, so not or greater.
50 or greater, Cathay 093.
Correct side, ILS side.
There were some notes about early capture here due to interference, so I'll just leave it on LNAV VNAV for now. So now we're on a right intercept to the ILS. And we can see the ghost pointers here, what we call the ghost pointers from the ILS. I think that's pretty good now. Approach, localizer class found.
Check.
And here is the famous bridge which was constructed before our eyes, going from Hong Kong to Shenzhen.
Control November 8.
Localizer established.
Localizer checked.
2500 Pico for Charlie.
8780 Charlie, you are identified, say again your passing altitude.
7 feet at the moment, 878 Charlie.
8780 Charlie, cancel the
the VNAV is good on this aircraft.
Check.
climb by feet, 9,000 feet.
And gear down, please.
Gear down.
And then via the seat to 9,000 feet and cancel the restriction 878 Charlie.
Silkway 5710 established, contact tower 118.2.
East Tower 118.2, Silkway 571, now full established. Tower, good morning, Silkway 571, full established, runway 07 center.
Silkway 571, Tower, good morning, wind 040 degrees, 5 knots, runway 07 center, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 07 center, Silkway 571.
Okay, flaps 30, landing checks, please.
Flaps moving 30.
Cathay 208.
Landing checklist complete.
Checklist complete.
1, 2, 3 days, Malay. Goodbye.
The path is 1238, Cathay.
And clutch stop checkpoint on profile. Runway inside 07 center.
Check.
Mr. Approach set. Ready for some action?
Yes.
Okay, manual flight.
Check.
Manual thrust.
Approaching 07 center.
Center checked.
.500 feet.
Checked. Checked.
Minimum.
Landing.
Check.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Peter Cup. Clear screen.
Checked. Alpha 8 is. Manual brake.
Check.
Silkway 571, okay, so Alpha 8, right on Alpha, hold short of whiskey.
Alpha 8, Alpha, hold short whiskey, Silkway 571. Clear right side.
Check, does brief so far?
Yes. First to the right, Bravo Alpha.
Checked.
Clear right side.
Clear left.
feet.
Checked.
Plus 100.
Checked.
Minimum.
Landing.
Check.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Feeder cup. Clear screen. Feet.
Checked.
Plus 100.
Checked.
Minimum.
Landing.
Check.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Feeder cup. Clear screen.
Checked. Alpha 8 is.
feet.
Checked.
Plus 100.
Checked.
Minimum.
Landing.
Check.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Feeder cup. Clear screen.
Checked. Alpha 8 is.
Silkway 571, contact ground 122.55.
It's ground 122.55, Silkway 571, good day.
Right.
Ground, good morning, Silkway 571, takes 12 hold short whiskey.
Silkway 571, good morning, Cody Whiskey, Juliet, holding point, Juliet 6.
Whiskey, Juliet, holding point, Juliet 6, Silkway 571.
The Juliet 6 is midpoint runway.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So, after landing procedure, please.
Bye-bye.
Clear right side.
Clear left. This is all new since I've been in. New terminal. Clear left. Okay, Rufat, we have more than 3 minutes.
Yes.
Shut down engine 3, please.
Number 3.
Check.
Okay, Juliet, last one to the right.
Last one, checked. Clear left.
Clear right side. Clear right to Juliet.
Clear left.
Holding point Juliet 6 with tower of 118.4, Silkway 571.
They're using for departures as usual.
Yeah.
Across from the left, I think. What a beauty. What a beauty.
Target warning, Silkway 571, continue Juliet 6, holding point. Hold at Juliet 6, holding point, Silkway 571.
One departing, I think.
Yes.
Another beauty. So 7 right identified.
Clear right side.
The 330 has departed. Strobe lights on. Transponder on. Clear left.
Clear right side.
Strobe off, transponder please.
Off. One, 2, 2, decimal 55, Silkway 571, good day. Ground Silkway 571 with you, Kilo Lima 2. Lima 2 to gate Charlie 28, Silkway 571. Charlie 28.
Charlie 28.
Okay, right to Lima 2 and to the left.
Okay. It's back on us, sir?
Yes. Start APU?
Yeah, it was a long flight, cold temperature. Can you just check the brake temperatures, please?
Clear right side.
Clear left. That's pretty okay.
Okay, 224, continue Juliet 1 holding point.
Continue Juliet 1 holding point, Cathay 334.
Station on you, QNH 1023, QNH 1023. Ruby Star 4704, Hawaii 26 holding point, Contact Tower 118.4.
118.4, Ruby Star 4704, thank you, man.
Cathay 334, continue to that 1 holding point, when you're ready, Tower 118.4.
There's still a lot of weight on the nose wheel.
118.4, Cathay 334.
It's really, the tiller's quite stiff. AP running?
Yep.
Charlie 28 identified. Marshall line sight. Lights off, please.
Lights off.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Park brake set, shutdown procedure please.
Clear to cut.
Clear, okay, good. Welcome to Hong Kong. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for the flight to Hong Kong, and we made good progress in the end. We saved about 8 minutes. In fact, we saved 8 minutes and saved 2 tons of fuel. So we, as you saw, you were following us. We sort of went west of Macau, continuing our descent via the standard arrival, and we came around the corner here for the ILS 07 center, and since we landed on the far side of the airport, we needed to come back here. It was a long taxi routing in via Juliet 6, and we entered via Lima 2, and we're on stand 28. So we leave the airplane now for get our rest, and we look forward to seeing you for the return flight. And always a pleasure to have Just Planes on board. See you for the next flight.